Hello, and welcome to Your Vote Counts, a public informational nonpartisan program designed to get the public acquainted with the candidates vying for the 2022 general election races of Congressional District 6, Senate Districts 10 and 11, House Districts 17 through 23, Salem City Council, and Marion County Commissioners. These interviews come to you through the producers at Capital Community Media. Collaboration on questions and moderators are from the American Association of University Women, Salem City Club, and the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk Counties. All 27 candidates for these races were invited, and all but 6 chose to participate. Candidates did not receive the questions prepared by the League of Women Voters ahead of time. Candidates were invited to prepare a 2-minute opening addressing their background and qualifications for the office, and a 2-minute closing addressing their goals for the office if elected. I am Joyce Zook from the American Association of University Women, and I would like to introduce Dynee Medlock, who is running for Salem City Council. Candidate Medlock, welcome, and we look forward to your opening remarks.
Thank you, Joyce. As Joyce said, my name is Dynee Medlock, and I'm running for Salem City Council. I believe we can all make a difference in our community. That's why 14 years ago, when my husband and I moved here, I joined the neighborhood association and served on the board. During this time, I also ran my own small business and had my first child. I was so grateful for Oregon's mail-in ballots because even being home most of the time with my son, I was still able to vote. As time went on, I found other ways to give back. I served on the board for the South Salem Moms Club, and when my oldest was diagnosed with autism, I learned how to advocate for others with special needs, thanks to the training I received from the local organization Creating Opportunities. Before I knew it, my kids were in school and I became a regular parent volunteer. From grading papers to teaching poetry and math, I loved watching the kids grow each year. When the pandemic hit, I used the knowledge I had to help others get online and connect to the world. Now, more than ever, I feel it is important that our voices are heard. That's why I'm running, because I feel like together we can get things done. We can start moving on from the isolation we experienced during the pandemic. To do this, we need to have someone who can advocate for us. And I believe I am that person. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Dynee Medlock. And now we will want to hear your views on our questions for this interview.
Okay.
First question, how will the climate change task force plan be presented to the public? How would you like to see it move forward to adoption?
So I think with the climate action plan, something that it confused people quite a bit early on, and I have to admit I was confused at first, is that it has this name as in plan, like it is automatically going forward and we have things set, but that is not the case. So what I would like to see is having conversations in a more public setting, that goes over some of the big steps that we want to do. I know that there's been a lot of conversation about things such as natural gas. I know that people have brought that up and they've been really nervous. And from my perspective, something as big as that would definitely have a conversation we'd all have to have together as residents here in Salem. And it can't be something that's just pushed forward. It really needs to have a consensus. On other things, I'm really excited because of the new and on the federal level, we have some funding coming from the Inflation Reduction Act that gives us a lot of opportunities to be able to grow our infrastructure, such as electrification. So as more people want to buy electric vehicles and do that, if we have the infrastructure in place for them to be able to go out and charge their vehicles, that will encourage more people, as well as having incentives for people to do that. And for solar, there's so much opportunity right now, and it's a perfect time to just help people understand that there's so much they can do now, and there's no more sitting around. We can actually move forward in ways that will help our economy grow and help businesses thrive.
Thank you. Second question, what is your experience in working with diverse groups? How would you bring a broader-based policy process into city planning and decision-making?
I'm glad you asked that question. So I grew up in a multicultural family. And so in my family, it's one of those things you just get used to, working with all different types of people and personalities. So, I mean, I bet, even within someone's family, the dynamics are different. But then you add in different things with culture, and you add in different perspectives depending on the experiences people have had. So starting off when I was young, I had that. But I've also had experiences with helping people in groups. One of the biggest eye openers for me was when I started working in the special needs community when my son was younger. And it was amazing because your eyes get open to this whole community where everyone has a laser focus on how can we help each other? How can we move forward? And then you realize that those things that were holding us back before, those things are not as important as we really thought, And so, I mean, for me, my experiences, I've worked in many different settings, from working in schools to work environments, to just being a mom. I mean, there's an ongoing joke I have with other moms, which is when you have children, you've joined the unofficial mom club. And so if you see a mom out there, or heaven forbid, a woman that's pregnant for the first time, there is no question. You're going to go out and you're going to help that woman. Or you're going to go up there. If there's a mom, she's got 2 kids and they're screaming and they're trying to go into the store. You know what you're going to do? You're going to open that door and you're going to say, hey, can I get this for you? Or even better, which most of us moms would love to hear sometime, which is, you are doing a great job. You are doing a great job taking care of your kids. I know it's not an easy job, but you are doing a great job. So.
Great. Salem has seen an increase in the number of empty downtown offices and buildings in recent years. How do we create a vibrant and livable downtown for businesses and citizens?
Oh, I love that. This is a dream question. I'm one of those that used to play Sim City as a kid. And I loved dreaming and forming things and making and seeing how process works. When I look at downtown Salem, I see the possibilities that we have there, especially since, with the pandemic, a lot of people are working from home now, and they've found that that's worked better for them. Well, what we can do to make it more thriving, from my perspective, is let's try to mix things up a little bit, right? We'll have some businesses that are on the ground floor and maybe have some apartments above that. I have talked to so many people who enjoy that. They love the downtown life. They love being able to work downtown. They love being able to do that. If we used some of these empty spaces and created a kind of a multi-use purpose, being having businesses and having, residents there, I think it would really give us, it would make it a lot more, I use thriving a lot, I'm sorry, but it would make it something that people would really enjoy getting out and walking around. And I don't know about you, but personally, the idea of being able to live downtown and enjoy everything that's down there, and go downstairs and go to a business, get my hair cut or go grocery shopping, it's an ideal setup. So if I had my way in a wand, that's what I would like to see more of the partnerships between people living and a business being on the bottom floor of the building.
Okay, the next question, what do you see as the role of the city in addressing employment issues? As we deal with a declining economy and climate change, how do we create green jobs that address both issues?
Okay, so that's a good one, considering right now it doesn't seem to matter where you look. Every industry seems to be having issues hiring on new employees. And part of this is that it's kind of a catch-22 in ways. You've got this here, this, and like, oh, we need the money to hire. Oh, we need this. Well, the way that I see it is, if we're going to create a green economy and we have, more high-end jobs where people get paid better so that they can afford to live in this beautiful place we call home, I think we need to look at different programs that are available. Look where the money is. Grants, incentives at all levels, county, state, federally, there are funds there to increase that. And I mean, what I mentioned before, the Inflation Reduction Act, things like that, there are funds available. And I know I've talked to people young and old who are really excited about the idea of jumping on the bandwagon and being part of the future. So for me, just making sure we get those funds and setting up those opportunities for people to really be part of the future about making our city better.
Okay, what work is being done to assist in the refugee situation locally and connecting globally?
Okay, so the refugee situation, I've been proud to say that in Salem, we have a number of organizations, nonprofits, that have been able to reach out and help individuals who come here as refugees. I think that we all have a place in our heart where we just feel like that could be any one of us, that could be us, and we would want to reach out and help them. Also, another part of it that I'm not sure everyone realizes, they are adding to our community when they come here. Their knowledge, their skill, hardworking, all of these things that will help make things better. So when it comes to thinking about the situation worldwide, not all places have the same sort of supports we do here in Salem. But what I can tell you is we can always get better, and we will need to get better, because I don't think the issue that refugees will stop happening. It just seems like right now with the world, there will always be people who need help, and hopefully they can come here and call it their new home.
Thank you. Now, what has the city already done to address the situation of our homeless population? And what, if any, other initiatives would you suggest?
Okay, so I would say in regards to homelessness, let me see. I'm kind of looking at my notes here because we have had so many things going on with the city. If you go to their website, which I'm really glad they updated earlier this year, because for a long time we didn't know, what are they doing? What has the city been doing? And what I can tell you now at this point, some of the things that I really support is the fact that we have a navigation center that's going to be opening soon, and it's going to have about 40 low barrier managed shelter beds. And I also support the managed shelters that we see in town, because the outcomes for those are so good that is exactly what I think we need. We need solution-based, common sense solutions. So I know I've talked to DJ at Church at the Park, and I know that their success rate, and to me, success is, helping people get out of homelessness and move on to a more positive outcome. Their success rate within the first 9 months, they had about half the people that were there moved on to successful and more positive outcomes. That's amazing when you consider the number of people who are chronically homeless and have been for years.
We have about a minute for you to respond to the last question, and that is, recently new solid waste management service rates were addressed at the City Council. What progress is being made to reduce waste and provide direction to the public?
Yes, that one is a bit tricky, in that I know there was a lot of conversation about having how we do that in a way that's sustainable with the companies that do our garbage and recycling. I think at this point, when it comes to our recycling system, there is a lot of room for improvement. I know that it can be very confusing for people because of how things changed. You know, when China stopped accepting recyclables in other countries, all of a sudden, you know, cities were scrambling around the country. Oh, and it looks like my timer's up.
Well, candidate Dynee Medlock, you are now invited to share your 2-minute closing comments about your goals for this office, if elected.
Okay. We need someone who will represent all of us, not just special interests. We need someone who can step up and get things done. We need someone who will be able to face problems and find solutions that strengthen our community instead of filling the pockets of developers. As I like to say, our community is not for sale. So I mentioned I was on the South Gateway Neighborhood Association. Before Battle Creek Elementary School and Park were built, I worked alongside other board members to stop a large development that would have had dire flooding consequences in our area. We are seeing the same thing again coming back around with these same developers who want to replace Creekside Golf Course with a bunch of luxury homes, ignoring the catastrophic consequences that development would cause our area. One of those developers is financially backing my opponent. I can tell you my priorities, if I'm elected into office, would be to deal with our 2 major issues that we have right now that residents have told me they care about. Homelessness. Homelessness is the #1 issue for majority of residents in Salem. And for me, I feel like I would support solution-based options such as the Navigation Center and managed shelter beds. I would also encourage more affordable housing and a variety of housing options, such as the ones we discussed. So I think the second one is to improve safety and livability for our community. That is something I heard time and time again from residents during our meet and greet sessions. So to do this, I would attend to neighborhood concerns about unsafe traffic conditions, such as the dangerous corner at Liberty and Mildred. So in November, please vote for me, Dynee Medlock, and I will be a voice for you, the residents of Ward 4.
Thank you, candidate Dynee Medlock, for your interview today and for sharing your thoughts. Thanks to Capital Community Media for their extensive technology and producer skills used to create this program. And thank you to the League of Women Voters of Marion and Polk Counties for the design and preparation of the program, and to AAUW Salem City Club for help with the question development and providing moderators. And thanks to you, the public, for watching in order to become a more informed voter. For more local, state, and national voter information on candidates and ballot issues, visit all capital letters vote411.org. You have until October 18th to register to vote or make changes. Ballots go out October 19th and 20th, and according to a new law, will be accepted and counted if postmarked before or on November 8th. Elections matter. Remember to vote because your vote counts.